that day to keep mood light. He had gone on his phone and he had gotten the Shark Tracker app, and he had put up the location of all these GPS tagged sharks. And one shark in particular named Mary Lee, who is a 16-foot, 3,500-pound great white shark, was right underneath the working area I was going to be flying over that day. And so he's like, hey, man, it would be a bad day to eject. There's a 16-foot great white shark underneath right where you're going to fly. And so we were laughing about it. Went out, did the flight, did some air-to-air refueling, and had extra gas and some extra time. And so we set up to do BFM, or basic fighter maneuvering, which is probably what a lot of people think of when they think fighter pilot. It's two jets trying to shoot each other down in a visual arena. It's very dynamic. You're pulling a lot of G's. You're operating weapon systems and defensive systems and radars and all these things. There's a lot going on. It's kind of like playing jazz piano and being in a wrestling match and driving in traffic all at the same time.
Love that.
So it's very physical, very mental. There's kind of like a chess game component of it because you're kind of trying to be proactive and thinking ahead of the other guy's moves. So it's a very
fun. If I can ask, is it a fun experience? I mean, I can only imagine being in a jet, especially at those speeds and having all this incredibly sophisticated equipment, and you're moving and yeah. So please explain. Yeah, go ahead, keep going.
It was one of my favorite things to do. You know, I really loved it, and I was passionate about it. I was kind of built for it in that I'm a fairly short guy. I was about 5'7" at the time, 180 pounds. So I was short, pretty muscular, stocky. And so it was easy for me to pull a lot of G's. And so I really enjoy it. Like a lot of guys, you know, they're struggling to pull the G, especially taller guys. Whereas I had that much more of my brain functioning, I felt like. So I really enjoyed it all around. It's just a lot of fun. Yeah. And
and so because of your physical size and weight, that actually influences the dynamics of the plane and how you're able to like cut and turn. Is that kind of what you're referring to?
So basically, because I'm shorter, I have a shorter distance between my heart and my brain. And when you're under a lot of G-force, all that force is pulling the blood down your body, trying to force it into your legs. And by having a strong legs and strong core and a shorter stature, it's a lot easier for you to force that blood back up into your brain and keep you functioning. So the taller you are and the leaner you are, that gets more and more difficult. So
yeah,
I'm 6'3". I probably wouldn't work. I wouldn't fit in the plane.
There's exercises that you can do, like tensing up different muscles that can shift that blood around, and then the aviators wear a G suit that actually inflates in different parts of the body to push that blood. But I mean, I'm saying this not as an aviator, but I used to be an aircrew survival equipment man that used to maintain all that stuff, the parachute riggers. So I have a little bit of knowledge there, but just for our audience, so you understand and can truly appreciate what Kegan's talking about there and what you're doing physically. You're not just manipulating the plane, but you're literally manipulating your body and how the blood flow is moving around. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, you're squeezing your legs and your ass and your core, and you are breathing in a very specific way to prevent from G-locking. If you don't breathe in a certain way and force that blood into your brain, you'll black out and the aircraft will go out of control and you'll crash and die likely. And so,
and you're trained at all this, like how to do these little manipulations and, in your core and your butt and that kind of stuff.
So before you go into the Super Hornet or even to fly the Goshawk, prior to that, you go to the centrifuge, which is for us was out in Lemoore, California. And they put you in this pod and spin you around at high G. And so they train you how to do that properly under very high G that's continuous. And so you get good at it before you go. And you also, the more you do it, you build up a tolerance to it and your body kind of adapts. But got to do that day. And it was going well. I was fighting against my commanding officer, my skipper, who had been doing this for nearly 20 years. He was a Top Gun graduate. He was very proficient, very good at it. And so he was kicking my ass, but that's the way the Navy likes to train you, throw you in over your head and figure it out. And